Back to him.
Well, I think when people accuse you of a crime, you have every reason to go after them pretty hard, and I'm going to continue going after him. I'm very proud of the record that I had in my business career, helping turn around the Olympics and as the governor of the state of Massachusetts. But what does it say about a president whose record is so poor that all he can do in his campaign is attack me? I think it's finally time for us to talk about his record, the kind of failure he's had at being able to create jobs, to get rising incomes again. This is a time when the people of America want to know who can make things better. And the president's policies have made it harder for the American people to find work and to have a brighter future. And that's what this campaign's about.
Well, some people find it ironic, Governor, because they accuse the president of apologizing to foreign nations all the time. But he has also said now that he won't apologize to you for apparently calling you a possible felon. He did an interview with a local station in Virginia. Here's what he said. "We will not apologize. Mr. Romney claims he's Mr. Fix-It for the economy because of his business experience. So I think voters entirely legitimately want to know what is exactly his business experience. So, Mr. Fix-It, what would you say back to the president?"
You know, I'd say to the president, wouldn't it be interesting, Mr. President, if you spent some time looking at your record? If you spent some time looking at what you've done over the last 3.5 to 4 years. There are 23 million people that are out of work and stopped looking for work. Median income has dropped by 10% over the last 4 years. Mr. President, this is about the United States of America, and my record is pretty clear to see. Helped turn around a business, started another one, turned around the Olympics with the help of a lot of great people, led a state, got our unemployment rate in my state down to 4.7%. I got a pretty solid record. Let's look at your record, Mr. President, and the American people. I don't have to try and convince them about his record. The American people know whether things are better now than they were 4 years ago. I think we all know that answer. This president, he just hasn't been able to do the job he told us he was going to try and do.
Well, I know you were on, your camp was on the defense toward the end of last week about all the allegations, but now you're on the offensive, and I read in the Washington Post this morning that you want to draw attention to Obama's political payoffs versus the middle class layoffs, where you say that, you know, if you're a donor to the Obama camp, you're going to do just fine. However, if you're in the middle class, Governor, your camp says, you got to worry about your job.
Well, there's no question, but that when billions upon billions of dollars are given by the Obama administration to the businesses of campaign contributors, that's a real problem, particularly at a time when the middle class is really suffering in this country. I don't know whether you watched over the weekend the report that was in the New York Times about families really struggling, particularly those that are single parents that are just having a hard time making ends meet. This is a tough time for the people of America. But if you're a campaign contributor to Barack Obama, your business may stand to get billions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars in cash from the government. I think it's wrong. I think it stinks to high heaven. And I think the administration has to explain how it is they would consider giving money to campaign contributors' businesses.
But what about campaign strategy, though, Governor? Because obviously the Obama campaign has had a long time to set up their assault on you. Even when we would interview Debbie Wasserman Schultz months ago, when there were still 5 Republicans in the primary, she would always focus on you. So they pretty much knew that you were going to be the candidate, or at least maybe they hoped for that, because they had this long line of assaults ready to go. Some people have said that they want you to fight back, to be on the offensive instead of always on the defense. How do you respond to that?
Well, the best offense is to look at the president's record. I mean, I really think the American people are going to tire, and probably have already tired, of all the attacks, and misdirected as they are. One after the other of their attacks has been shown by independent fact checkers to be dishonest and false. So a campaign based on falsehood and dishonesty does not have long legs. In my opinion, the issue people care about is who can get the American economy going again, to help people have a brighter future with rising wages and more capacity to care for their kids, and to know that their kids will get good jobs when they come out of school. That's what this campaign is about. I've laid out a number of ideas to do that. I have a plan, I call it my jobs recovery plan, to get America working again. The president, on the other hand, has only one thing going, and that is constant attacks on me. And, you know, they're dishonest, they're misdirected. Right. And I think the American people recognize that kind of politics as something of the past. It may work in Chicago, but it's not going to work across America.
Governor